So God purposely made himself imperfect in the form of you, in the form of the human form. Purposely. There's no perfect human personality. There never will be. If you put a camera on your favorite guru, you're going to see all kinds of things. Better yet, you install it in their brain, and it'll spit out and transcribe what they're thinking or feeling. Then you'll really get some inside information. Let a I don't know, younger pretty girl walk by your average guru, and then have the data get spit out, what they're thinking and feeling. You think they're just, I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. Think it's like that? It could be. There can be states where you're really in that state 24/7. No, not going to happen. So understand that you're not perfect, never will be perfect, but yet cooperate with this evolutionary process heading toward perfection. See the paradox? Mind can't understand anything paradoxical. Intuition can. You're always going to be working more and more towards perfection, but not reaching. Look at the Babaji lineage. You have Babaji, Lahiri Mahashai, Sri Yukasteshwar, Yogananda, and then Dayamata, keeps going. They each respect and revere their guru. Their guru, on some level, is more evolved than them, even though they're all considered to be self-realized. Why? Because it never ends. The fine-tuning, refining process never ends. If I come back, in 100 years and incarnate again, I'm going to be more fine-tuned spiritually than I am now. Does that mean I'm higher? The human self? Yeah, it's higher. It keeps getting higher. How about the pure self in which the human self is happening in? Is that getting higher? No. There's like no higher, lower. It doesn't have nothing. Like, what do you mean? It's the formless, intelligent, principle space in which the game of evolution is happening in. So both aspects are important to acknowledge. Your true spiritual formless self and the human evolutionary self. There's no one or the other. It's not that the human self becomes self-realized and is totally, perfected and purified by the pure self. No, it's always going to retain some kind of dirt. That's cool. Enjoy the dirt. There's two things that happen though with this subject that we're talking about here. Let me look and see what I'm saying. The ego takes. See, this is the thing. So the first trap, you start to get some realization. You start to get some downloads. You start to realize some subtle things. You start to have some insights. Your perspective and perception of things, it gets very broad. You see the interconnectedness on a level that you never seen before. Here's the trap. The ego takes this realization for its own purposes and uses it for its own purposes. To try to get attention, to try to demonstrate what it knows, all that stuff. It can be very subtle though. Do you have the level of self-honesty to catch that out? That's a question for you to ponder. Introspection is a huge spiritual principle that's a lot of times overlooked, particularly in the non-dual Advaita self-inquiry field. Because the ego takes self-inquiry and non-duality and uses those concepts to just justify not looking at themselves. Don't do that. I mean, everybody's going to realize the limitation of that at some point. But I'm saying the quicker you realize that now, the better. Now, what's the other coin? The other side of the coin. What's the other trap? There's always two sides. The other trap is the ego will take whatever shortcomings you have, addictions, attachments, limitations. You might have some really deep limitations in the body. You live in you can't make any money. I've said before, there's a few categories of karma that everybody will predominate in at least one. It's either health, money, relationships, meaning romantic usually, or family. Some say, well, I have all four. Yeah, but usually one predominates. There's certain categories You are not, like, that's your karma. Some people have it heavy. You can take all, if you have that kind of money karma, you're just going to struggle with money, your whole life. There's some people, you can repeat all the positive affirmations. You can go to the How to Get Rich class and listen to Zig Ziglar. I used to like him. Motivation speaker. I used to listen to those when I was selling cars. You can do all that and it's just not going to matter. You're not going to make money. God will take care of you, but you're not going to get the Lamborghini and the mansion and all that stuff. Same with health. There's certain chronic health issues that some people, you are not going to fix. The answer isn't to fix them. That's not the remedy. The remedy is to surrender to your limitations. Still, you cooperate if intuition guides you to certain things that might help make your symptoms less. Yeah, it's not one or the other, but I'm just saying. So, the other side of the coin is that the ego will take these limitations that you have, these struggles, and it'll say, you're not spiritual, man. If you were super spiritual, you'd be abundant. You'd have all the money you wanted. Or your body, you wouldn't have these limitations. You would just, I'm spiritual, move the life force, oh, I'm healed. There's not enough gurus that have bodily limitations out there. There needs to be some of those to make balance. Because usually we see these teachers postulate themselves as, everything's, I'm just so balanced, man. Like, you can be like this too if you get spiritual. There's that message that gets sent. It's an air. It's not an authentic message. That somehow if you're spiritual, you're not going to have these struggles. No. So catch that. Catch both things. If your ego is somehow taking your karma, your struggles, and using it for its own purpose, which means to drive you further into identity and delusion by telling you you're not spiritual because you have those things. You have those things because it's been ordained by the Supreme that you have those things, because having those things accelerates your spiritual growth on a level that most won't experience. That's why you have those things. What was the other side of the coin? Your ego takes your realizations that you have and makes it into something. Even if you don't even see, nobody can admit it. Some of you do on the comments, and that's why I like this channel. I like the level of consciousness and quality of characters that I'm attracting. I like it because you catch it. You're like, damn, I was doing that. I thought I was something, I like that. You're going to be fine. When you're looking at yourself on that level, you're going to be fine. Because you're just exposing the ego all the time. It becomes fun. The ego will always come up with something else, other thing. Oh, whatever, I can get him. It becomes a game. This is the game that God's playing. All right. So you catch yourself. You catch yourself if you think you're putting on airs, or you're, if you're a guy and you want to demonstrate to the girl you like your spirituality, but really you think you want to help her, but really you just kind of, you want that energy. I don't know if I shared the story before. I think I did, where I did that with a girl some years ago. I was like, I feel like I can help her. And look, here's the complicated part. Sometimes it's both. You can help her. But are you aware of the other motives? See, I wasn't. Not totally. I was a little bit. But I knew because we had similar chemistry. I knew she enjoyed what I said. I could see shifts happening when I would speak to her sometimes. So see, the ego had all the proof that no, you want to contact her because you want to help her. So then afterwards, though, it was like a year of karma. I realized, looking in retrospect, no, you wanted to be around her energy. You were enjoying her energy. That was the driving force, not the total driving force, but that was there. And I didn't acknowledge it at that time, because something was trying to, but I didn't have the capacity to do it. I would ask myself, I'm like, why do I feel compelled to reach out to her to see if she wants to spend time together? Do you really want to just help her? Is it pure Like, do you want to help her? Something felt like, no, there's something else there, but I couldn't see what it was. I had to go through the experience, come out the other side, then you can see what it is. You see what I mean? Like, you can't, life prescribes us experiences that we got to go through that we can't see. We can't get the realization unless we go through the experience. There's no way around it. That's why I say, like, be at peace. Don't take your personal human identity self so serious. Don't think you can just transcend everything without going through the grind. Make peace with yourself that you're going through the grind. Don't take yourself, the self that's going through the grind, personal. This is such deep things that most people don't come to terms with. Why do you take yourself so personal if you're going through an experience and you so-called fail, or you have your mistakes come up, your shortcomings come up? Why do you take that personal? That's not who you are. At the same time, don't use it as an excuse to just not look at yourself and work on it either. Cooperate with this process. Cooperate with the purification of the human construct self, while at the same time being aware of your true formless self. That's my message. The fishermen are coming back, so I'm going to end. See you.